welcome to PraDa Law Live. I'm Jackie Mendez. I'm your host for today's show. We're going to be talking to you a little bit about financial issues and, of course, about bankruptcy. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce our special guests and our partners here at PraDa Law, I want to remind everyone there's a number on your screen. It's 888-88-LEGAL. That's the number you want to call for any questions you may have. Also, this show is live. I want to remind you, you can call at any time during the show and ask any questions you may have. I first want to introduce our special guest, Joe Garcia of Primo Cash.
Thank you for having me.
Our partner here at PraDa Law, Alexis Garcia.
Thank you, Jackie. Hello, panel. Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here this evening.
And of course, our partner, Yoel Damas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program.
And thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. Once again, this is a number that you can call at any time. It's a free consultation, and let's get right into the conversation.
Thank you, Jackie. So it's Wednesday. We discussed financial matters. We came off of Monday's program discussing small businesses, and that program just ran that way, and we went that way. And because of that, we decided to invite our friends from Primo Cash over again. Now, this time around, we invited Joe Garcia, and last time Joe has been on our panel a few times, but before this week we invited Janina Nicoletti from Primo as well. And you know, it's interesting that the #1 show today as far as shares on YouTube is that show with Janina, right?
Oh.
So we had the question the last program, and we asked people to call. And this time we're going to ask you to demonstrate it by the number of shares, the number of likes, and the way you interact with this program. No, Joe, you can't have your abuela do it for you. Okay? We're going to go ahead and we're going to ask you guys to get involved and either share this program, because we're going to look at the matrix and see if you rather have Joe on here or Janina on here. Now, Joe, I don't know how prepared you came today, but I hope you came really prepared, right? Because we're going to deliver a big show. Right, you know, on Monday we talked about restaurants reopening again, 50%.
Right.
And
right.
So, what do you think that's going to do to the economy? Just is that really going to help? Is it not going to help? I mean, what does it really mean for restaurants to now be able to do indoor dining again?
Yeah. So, first of all, let me start by saying I love Janina. She's a wonderful person, and
This guy's such a politician.
I want to say that she's great. So, okay, so regarding what you're saying, yes, I think the August 31st is when they're going to open restaurants to 50% capacity.
Well, that was Monday. But
right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So, of course, I do think that it's going to help the restaurants. There's a lot of restaurants that are suffering. I know I have a few friends that own restaurants, and they can't wait. In fact, they're stressing. They can't wait for the restaurants to open again. So I do believe that it's going to help the restaurants. I don't necessarily think it's the complete solution, but I do see that it's a step in the right direction. I definitely see that there's some progress happening in the economy, and this is a big first step.
Now, Joe, you're a numbers guy. You're with Primo Cash. You help small businesses, you know, finding funding sources, and we'll get into that. But as we know, most businesses, they're lucky to run on a 30% margin.
Right.
And restaurants run on really tight margins,
thinner.
maybe even
Yes.
thinner. If you were running a business at 100% capacity, and now technically you're at 50% capacity, I mean, real life. Do
Yeah.
you think that's going to do it or not?
No, so there's no doubt that a large majority of these restaurants are not going to survive. 50% capacity is impossible without some kind of government intervention. And the truth is that even the government doesn't know what they're doing yet with this supposed next step of funding. So I still believe that a lot of restaurants are going to struggle. It's possible that maybe the chain restaurants that are a lot bigger and maybe the ones that generate a lot more revenue will survive with this 50% capacity. But even those, I mean, the margins are too thin. It's tough to tell what's really going to happen.
Now, Joe, obviously, and you went back to some government funding, which we haven't seen any yet, which is another problem. And then we could probably spend a whole program talking about that. But that PPP money specifically was for these restaurants or these businesses to basically just survive for 2.5 months. Well, that's back in March, April. We're in August.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're in September.
Correct,
I
yes.
mean, it's way done.
Yeah, those funds are done. In fact, I saw an interview with an owner of this place called Junior's Cheesecakes. It's in New York, and he got, I think, well over $1 million in funding. And what he did was he held it, he stayed closed, and essentially told his employees, when we're ready to really open, I'll bring back whoever I can bring back, but I'm hanging on to these funds. Because imagine, he's so big, and he doesn't even believe that the PPP was enough. And by now, I have to believe that the smaller businesses have exhausted those funds. Like, I don't know how they're staying alive.
Because the answer is, if you opened, you ran through that money in 2.5 months if you did what you were supposed to with it.
Correct. That's exactly right.
It was made as a 2.5 month Band-Aid.
Yep.
Right? So before I get into bankruptcy matters, Joe, do you have a little bit more than a Band-Aid for these small business owners through business funding at Primo Cash? I'm going to give you the chance to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we are a small business funder. We have plenty of capital to go around. To be honest, there's more than enough capital to go around. It's really simple. You just have to apply. It's a one-page application. Come to our website, www.primo.cash. You can fill it out right there, or you can call 844-PRIMO-44. Our reps are answering right now.
Right. Thank you so much, Joe Garcia of Primo Cash. And you can also give us a call here at PraDa Law, 888-88-LEGAL, because we're all here to answer any questions you may have, to give you those solutions.
So you heard it here first. Joey Garcia is rich. He says he has the cash. He has plenty of liquid to go around.
I hope so.
Yes.
Attorney Garcia, on the last program on Monday, we talked a lot of small business, and that's another reason we brought our friends over, and Joe, which is the managing member at Primo. He's a little higher up than Janina. At least that's what he told me, or that's what his business card says. I don't know. There's this inner competition there. I don't know what's going on.
A wonderful person. I love Janina.
All right, we gotta go. You know what? We gotta get into bankruptcy, but we gotta take a quick commercial break. Please don't go anywhere. It's this simple, 888-88-LEGAL. If you want to get in touch with Primo Cash, we're going to give you their contact information as well. And we're going to get into we're going to spend a lot of time with Attorney Garcia today discussing consumer bankruptcy. The average person, not only businesses. I feel we spent a lot of times with businesses this week, and it's fine because we know you're hurting. But we're going to spend some time with you as well, the consumer. 888-88-LEGAL. We'll be right back.
I know you're home right now asking yourself, how? How will I pay my rent, my mortgage, my bills, my credit card debt? I'm attorney Alexis Garcia with PraDa Law. I've personally helped people with financial problems over the last 10 years. I understand what you are going through. We saw people lose it all in the 2008 financial crisis. You don't have to lose it all. The consultation is free. Call us now. I will help protect what you have built. You have nothing to lose by calling us. Call us now. These are trying times. This deadly virus is affecting our health, economy, jobs, our small business owners. Bankruptcy protection may be able to save assets and immediately stop your creditors from harassing you. Small business owners, employees of business of any size, we know you need help. Call us now. We will help you get back on your feet. Don't wait until it's too late. This is the time to call.
Sé que estás en la casa ahora mismo preguntándote, ¿cómo voy a pagar la hipoteca, la renta, los biles, las tarjetas de crédito? Soy la abogada Jennifer Pratt con PraDa Law. Yo personalmente he ayudado a las personas con problemas financieros durante los últimos 10 años. Yo entiendo por lo que estás pasando. Vimos cómo la gente lo perdió todo durante la crisis financiera de 2008. No tienes que perderlo todo. Llama ahora. La consulta es gratis. Te ayudaremos a proteger todo lo que has construido durante todos estos años. Sabemos que estos son tiempos difíciles. Este virus mortal está amenazando nuestra salud, nuestra economía, nuestros empleos y a los propietarios de nuestras pequeñas empresas. La consulta es gratis. Llame ahora. Te ayudaremos a recuperarte. No esperes hasta que sea demasiado tarde. Llame ya.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to PraDa Law Live. I'm Jackie Mendez, your host for the show. We've been talking a little bit about well, bankruptcy and a little bit about COVID-19 and the new situations that have been popping up here in Miami-Dade County. So the number on the screen is 888-88-LEGAL. That's the number that you want to call for any questions that you may have, because we have some solutions for you. Isn't that right, Yoel?
Yep. Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate you and appreciate you always moderating this program. You're doing great.
Thank you.
So we've been talking right before the program. We're talking with Joe Garcia from Primo Cash about some funding, just what's going on with PPP, EIDL, and basically that the money's dried up. And according to Joey, he has a lot of money. So if that is the case, you should probably apply. And then I want you to call us and tell us if it's true or not. If he didn't fund you, then he's just out here blabbing. If he did fund you, then we might believe him. Going straight to the bankruptcies, Attorney Garcia. We've spent a lot of time this week on restaurants and really businesses. Right. But the truth is that behind every single restaurant, there's a person. There's everything from the guy that drops off the water to the food to the distributor, the truckers, you name it. They're all affected by these closures. There's bankruptcy options for them. Absolutely. There's ways to negotiate for them. Let's talk a little bit. Let's start with Sevens. I call it the brand new baby.
Right. Well, I think Chapter 7 bankruptcies would be very beneficial to a lot of these, let's say the waiters or the waitresses or the bus boys, whoever it may be, because if the restaurant's operating at 50%, okay, are your days completely cut? Do you have less time? You're not having the same income. You're not getting the same tips. A Chapter 7 bankruptcy, what it will do is it will allow you to eliminate all your unsecured debt and remain with whatever, vehicles, your homestead, your pensions, anything that you would like to protect.
Now, specifically talking about Chapter 7, the Chapter 7s are geared specifically to people that make under what amount of money?
It depends on where you reside and the number of individuals in your family. So the way a Chapter 7 bankruptcy works, you can look at it, it's around $50,000 for one individual. So, and then the chart changes and the numbers change every 6 months. So in April and November, you get an adjustment, okay?
And it's also based on the dependents, right?
It's based on how many children you have, if you're married, it's based on where you live. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. It's called the means test. You need an experienced attorney to run it with you to see whether or not you qualify.
Well, assuming in this hypothetical situation, we're going to talk about the number that we're going to go with is $50,000, right? If someone makes over $50,000, they obviously do not qualify for a 7. Do they qualify for something else?
Oh, absolutely. They could qualify for a Chapter 13. And sometimes even if your income, gross income, is just over the limits for a Chapter 7, you can use deductions and allowable expenses to bring you back down. So sometimes even if you surpass it a little bit, we can still fit you in the 7.
Right, okay. Thank you so much, Attorney Garcia. Once again, I want to remind all our viewers watching right now, there's that number on the screen. It's 888-88-LEGAL, 888-88-LEGAL. We make it simple for you. The call is free. The consultation is free. We have the experienced attorneys ready and willing to answer any of your questions.
Definitely. Attorney Garcia probably will not say it herself, but I will say it. Attorney Garcia, all she's done for the last, 10 years or so, all she has done is bankruptcy. She knows, and we're not going to call her an expert on here. We never would. We would never cross that line. But what I will tell you is that Attorney Garcia has done nothing but bankruptcy for the last 10 years. She has represented hundreds, right? I could say that, hundreds of clients in bankruptcy matters. And the truth is that we talked about possibly meeting that 7, that, maybe right around that line. But let's just say someone's really up there. Let's say they're at 70 or 80 or $100,000. Then what? Is there an option?
Absolutely. You file a Chapter 13. The Bankruptcy Code considers that maybe, yes, you don't qualify to eliminate all your debt, but if you have experienced a reduction in your income, you still can't afford all your expenses as they were before the reduction. A Chapter 13 allows an individual to restructure their debts and to enter into a payment plan to pay less than what they owe. Let me be clear. In a 13, you are not obligated to pay all your credit card debt, and you are not obligated to pay any certain percentage of the debt.
I'm glad you went there, Attorney Garcia, because the truth is that a lot of people have the misconception that 13 is not a good option.
A lot of my clients, when I speak to them about their teens, it's that, oh, well, when I come out of the 13, I don't want to still have credit card debts. I'm like, well, that's not true. You don't. So you have to, you need to understand the process. You need to have an experienced attorney who will explain it to you, because a 13 is a great tool and you will walk out of it without credit card debt.
That's right. Thank you so much, Attorney Garcia. Ladies and gentlemen, the number is on the screen. We definitely have to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be back. The number on the screen is 888-88-LEGAL. That's the number that we want you guys to call so that we can help you out, figure out these solutions. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right, Jackie. And the truth is that there's a lot of factors that go into determining a 7, a 13, an 11, subchapter 5 for businesses. There's a lot of factors, and all you have to do is dial that number. And if you dial that number, we'll be able to walk those factors through for you absolutely free before you even retain us. So the truth is, you have nothing to lose. Now, going to the income, and we have very few seconds before the break, but I want to preview this and for you to stay tuned when we get back. The income is really related to the last few months, not last year. And we'll talk about how that's affecting you, and we'll talk a little bit more with Primo Cash. We'll be right back.
I know you're home right now asking yourself, how? How will I pay my rent, my mortgage, my bills, my credit card debt? I'm attorney Alexis Garcia with PraDa Law. I've personally helped people with financial problems over the last 10 years. I understand what you are going through. We saw people lose it all in the 2008 financial crisis. You don't have to lose it all. The consultation is free. Call us now. I will help protect what you have built. You have nothing to lose by calling us. Call us now. These are trying times. This deadly virus is affecting our health, economy, jobs, our small business owners. Bankruptcy protection may be able to save assets and immediately stop your creditors from harassing you. Small business owners, employees of business of any size, we know you need help. Call us now. We will help you get back on your feet. Don't wait until it's too late. This is the time to call.
Sé que estás en la casa ahora mismo preguntándote, ¿cómo? ¿Cómo voy a pagar la hipoteca, la renta, los biles, las tarjetas de crédito? Soy la abogada Jennifer Pratt con PraDa Law. Yo personalmente he ayudado a las personas con problemas financieros durante los últimos 10 años. Yo entiendo por lo que estás pasando. Vimos cómo la gente lo perdió todo durante la crisis financiera del 2008. No tienes que perderlo todo. Llama ahora. La consulta es gratis. Te ayudaremos a proteger todo lo que has construido durante todos estos años. Sabemos que estos son tiempos difíciles. Este virus mortal está amenazando nuestra salud, nuestra economía, nuestros empleos y a los propietarios de nuestras pequeñas empresas. La consulta es gratis. Llame ahora. Te ayudaremos a recuperarte. No esperes hasta que sea demasiado tarde. Llame ya.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to PraDa Law Live. Again, I'm Jackie Mendez. We've had a great show so far. We've had a very informative show. We've had our guests, Joe Garcia of Primo Cash, and our partners, Alexis Garcia and Joel Damas. Ladies and gentlemen, the number on the screen, it's 888-88-LEGAL. That's the number that you need to call for your free consultation. Once it's free, first of all. And again, you can always call anytime during the show. Ask any of the questions that you may have.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That call is free. The consultation is free. Participating in this program is free. You have nothing to lose. Do it now. Right before the break, Attorney Garcia, we were discussing higher end individuals, higher income individuals, those way over that 50,000, give or take, mean number for a Chapter 7. And one of the items we discussed is how they calculate, or how the bankruptcy court is going to interpret their income. And so, we were talking about that there's specific dates that they're really focusing on. And so if I understand it correctly, if somebody made $300,000 last year, okay, God bless them, they made $300,000. What's really important is these other dates that you're going to discuss right now.
Absolutely. That's a great point. When an attorney or one runs to see if you qualify your means test, your income, what the attorney will do is we'll look back the last 6 months. We're going to file now in September. So you would look back from March to August. Those are the last. Now, that's prime
the
time
COVID
for the,
dates, yeah.
exactly, that's prime time for COVID dates. So someone who made great money up until this year and then was furloughed or completely lost the job or their hours were cut in half. Now, if we look back at just March through August, your income is clearly not going to be the same. Now is the time to act. Now is the time to call us, call an attorney, have someone run these numbers for you and let them walk you through it to see what bankruptcy is going to fit for you.
Now, Attorney Garcia, I have the opposite question. So we're talking about it doesn't matter for the test, for the bankruptcy code test, as far as the income, what they made prior to the last 6 months. But someone might, go 6 months without a job because of COVID, but now get this amazing executive position in the next 30 days or in the next 60 days. How does that affect them on the bankruptcy?
Okay, it depends which chapter you file. That's a great question. If you file a Chapter 7, that is income after the filing, and it shouldn't affect your filing depending, when you get that job, because I filed. The date of my filing is now September. I don't have that job.
Okay, so I want to be clear with our viewers. If they get that executive job, the CEO of a major company, what matters is the last 6 months.
We're looking back at the last 6 months, correct. Now, in a 13, you're in a plan for 3 years, so or 5 years. So in a 13, the court is allowed to continuously look into your income. So if you file now and then even in a year, you get a different job during the 13, that could change your plan payments. It could affect, the way your 13 is going to look moving forward.
But specifically speaking to these unemployed individuals or people that have really been affected by COVID.
Right. Now's the time.
Now's the time.
Now's
right?
the time.
Take
You
advantage.
don't know what's going to happen. You may be in a better place. You may not. Why wait to find out? If you're having trouble paying your rent, don't put everything on credit cards. Or if you use your credit cards, please don't touch your pensions. Do the smart thing. Pay your living expenses. That's what the code wants you to do. They want you to pay your living expenses. They want you to take care of your family. And anything else you cannot pay, you have the right to discharge.
Yeah, and they don't want you to touch your assets.
Correct. That's
So,
right.
ladies and gentlemen, call the number on the screen. It's 888-88-LEGAL. Consultation is free.
The truth is, and of course, we would never condone any type of fraud or anything like that upon the court. But the truth is that for certain individuals, this COVID might actually turn out to be a blessing if they in disguise. Because if they were a high income individual that all of a sudden lost most of their income, they might qualify to be able to wipe out all their debts, keep their 401k and their assets, including their home, and yet come back into the marketplace fresh with possibly even, hopefully, a higher paying job.
Yeah, and I mean, the Chapter 7 process is only a 90-day process. If it's done properly and you haven't hidden any assets from the court or you haven't done anything contrary to the bankruptcy code, you'll be in and out within 90 days if it's Chapter 7.
That's great. You're hearing it here. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you're hearing it first, but make sure you share this program. You never know who might need to listen to this and actually take advantage. We have about 2 minutes left, and I want to spend the last few minutes with Joe Garcia from Primo Cash. Joe Garcia, what is Primo Cash? How long does it take to apply? How long does it take to get funding? And it's only for small businesses, right?
Correct. Yes. So Primo Cash is a small business funding company. We're focused on trying to help those small business owners that need some capital, possibly for inventory or for just working capital in general. The process is really simple. It's literally a one-page application that you could fill out online yourself at www.primo.cash. The funding maybe takes, I would say, 24 to 48 hours, depending on how quickly you get the information in. And if you need to speak with a rep so that you can get the assistance, you can call 844-PRIMO-44. We probably have reps standing by as we speak.
Now, Joe, that's 844-PRIMO, 1-844-PRIMO-44, and www.primo.cash.
That is correct as
Quick question. It's for small businesses only.
Correct.
Right? No consumer finance.
No personal loans. No.
Right? And is it a loan or is it a factoring
It's not
product?
a loan. It's a purchase of receivables. So it's similar to factoring. Restaurants are especially used to it with credit card transactions. It's a percentage of sales, basically.
And what about other industries like truckers?
Yeah, I mean, truckers as well. I mean, if they're waiting for paychecks to hit them, we'll go ahead and advance them the funds based on those future receivables.
I have one last question. What about credit? Do they need credit?
No, it's not necessary. Good credit, bad credit, no credit, really doesn't matter. We focus more on the business itself and the revenue that it's generating.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing it here. Primo Cash, www.primo.cash. Obviously, PraDa Law. If there's no reason for you to go through these financial times by yourself. There's options up there, whether there's financial options or legal options. The key is that there's options. And these phone numbers, Joe, do you charge an application fee?
Nope.
So you charge nothing up front?
Totally free.
All right, so whether you call Primo, whether you call PraDa, nothing gets charged up front. It's simple, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you tune into this program each and every night. We will be back with you tomorrow. Thank you, Joe Garcia. Thank you, Alexis Garcia. Thank you, Jackie Mendez. We'll see you tomorrow.